Okay, so we're looking at the key of E for a second, and I just want you to know, I put the charts together with older charts that had the key of E covered. So this is the long version of the key of E. I borrowed somebody's, and this is key of E here. I borrowed somebody's key. Looked like it wasn't being used for anything. And this is the long pattern for the key of E. Okay? And where would you put the lines? Where would you put the lines is the question. Now, that's an interesting question. Okay, so here's a little picture of the key of C here, and I want you to remember one thing. Even though the numbers are different, where in the key of E, E is the root, in the key of C, E is the third of C, E is the root of E, the line throughs and the note in between lines are the same. They're cast. It's like you can't change the color of an ivory key unless you have a good set of magic markers and you go in the keyboard and nobody's gonna give you a lot of talk about it. But I've done that, and I found I don't like coloring the keys on the piano. I had trouble coloring these notes at first. Now look up top. You see how the notes are nice and colored there? With too many dots on there because I did the E guitar and the C guitar dots, and I just said the heck with it. I'm going to redo this, but they're all worn off here because I didn't laminate it. When I first put the colors on here, I didn't like it. It became all jumbled up. It didn't look nice, just like black and white. But black and white, I couldn't find where I was because I couldn't see the difference between like 3 accidentals and 2 accidentals and where were they. So I had to start coloring notes so I could find a C easily. If you can find the string. Okay, a little background on the colors of the notes. So these don't change. So we would know that there is a line through the R here, and that would be a line through note. And there's a line through the third. In the key of E, we know there's a line through the 7. Now watch out, right here, we got a whole step from here, so we're line through 5 here. Line through the, now we have the line through the 2 here. Well, that doesn't matter because we're not using that note in the key of E. We don't use D in the key of E unless you want to make a D7 and E7, and that would be the 5th of the key of A. So we don't use the D natural in the key of E, etc. So that's how we would go and match it up. And lo and behold, what is root? Which note is root? Root would be the A here. You see that? Make the line straight, right? It won't correct itself. So that's why it says here C equals A. So in this key of E diagram, C equals the A note. Now that's C, so that is middle C. Alright, so that's how that works. Now let's just look and see what we got here. Here's middle C. Now I want you to notice that with the line through notes up here, we have every other note's a line through note. So C, E, G, and B are line through notes from middle C. It's like a C major 7th, right? Line through notes. And then we can like skip on up. We can skip on up. We can do a another C major 7th there, but it'll be the opposite. It'll be all note in between lines, C, E, G, B. There's lots of ways to look at this. We can go down from middle C. So we can do a C major 7, a C7 there, or just a C major, C, G. Okay, we're going to do a D major 7th there. So we're going to start D, F, A, C with a D major 7th there. Now, why did I not want to do a C major? Because we want to do every other note. The piano is arranged that way. The piano is arranged so that every other note is either a line through note or a note in between lines, or an egg in between lines. These things are egg shaped, sorry, because I wanted to stretch the piano keys so they look more normal. So we're looking for like these not coincidence, these ways to express the fretboard. So let's look. Of course, we have middle C. That's everything from top to bottom. Here it is, middle C on the piano, middle C on the fretboard. Okay, and then middle C is down here on the guitar fretboard, keeping in mind that your fret nut, okay, your fret nut is, where is that? I need cursor mode. Your fret nut is right here. Okay. Right there, to draw a line through it. There it is. So that's your fret nut. So that's where middle C is, right there. Now it's also over here, and it's also over here. So of course, yes, the C cage down here is an okay place to do it. But middle C is, you have lower C, but you don't have upper C in the open position. Call it the open position. You know, C, A, G, E, and D, open. So if you look up here instead at your G position, this is what we got. The G and the E position here, okay? So what is this? This 6 is A. Because remember, when you play a G over here, the E becomes the 6th of G. E is the 6th of G. 7G. So right here, from the A dot, from the A dot maybe, that's the start. That's the start of your, pretty much of the G cage, except it extends down here with this 7 here. So you've got access to the middle C right there in the G cage, which is right above the A, and upper and lower. So you've got this, this, and this. Okay, so let's do some guitar here. So starting from the lower root in the G cage, oh, I grabbed my guitar, wasn't there? So here's my C, my C-shaped G, G-shaped C. Okay, so that's your basically A minor pentatonic there, and the G is right here, the G-shaped C. Here's the double root to the E shape. Okay, still got the cut on my fingers. I don't want to open them up again, but I was doing some playing before. I mean, it was nice. Okay, it's just nice to play when those fingers heal up. All of a sudden you find yourself playing away. Otherwise, it's doing computer, and I even had to get a band-aid on my pinkies because that's where my hand sits while I'm doing that mouse. Not that that's how it happened. I'm sure it happened just with the dry weather and cold weather and other ways.